What is up, guys? David here from Overland Nomad, and on this episode I'm going to explain why you need to go and pick up yourself one of these Land Cruisers before it's too late. Stay tuned. So like the video says, why you should buy an 80? Well, for one, this is the last solid axle, front solid axle 4x4 that Toyota made in the US, so that makes it special. That's one. Two, it's a Land Cruiser. So Toyotas are very famous in the 4x4 industry, and Land Cruisers are definitely top-notch, legendary in the 4x4 world. Something about Land Cruisers, the way that they were built, the way that they were designed, there's just something that makes them even better than a regular Toyota. It's like its own brand. Three, the prices on these are soaring up as we speak, and they're just gonna keep climbing and climbing. That's what it's looking like. Land Cruisers have always retained really good value. You go look for a 40 series right now. You can go look for a beat up 40 series that's been sitting at someone's ranch, and they're gonna be asking a lot of money for it, and people are gonna pay for that. Why? Because, well, Land Cruisers are harder to find. They made less of them than, you know, look for a Tacoma or something else. And yeah, people love them. They're work trucks, and this 80 series is a good example of what's happening. A good, you know, few years ago they weren't that popular, but now they're becoming really popular thanks to, I would say, social media. For my theory is that social media is kind of boosting the price on these. And actually, I'm selling this right now. I put this 80 for sale, and the buyers are going to be here in a few hours. So that's why I'm making this video. So if you're looking for a Land Cruiser, it's the time right now to buy them before it's too late, before the prices soar on these, before people start chopping these up and modifying them. You want to find one that's basically stock, it's clean. So like I said, legendary truck, last vehicle with solid axle on the front. Prices are soaring. There's a lot of reasons why you should be buying this right now. You could still find them pretty cheap online, like I did with two of these Land Cruisers, but they're all around great vehicles. Let me show you guys the interior. This thing's really clean on the inside. I preferably would find, I'm sorry about the birds, they're just chit-chatting. I would preferably find the cloth seats. They're usually in way better shape than the leather ones. The leather ones are all ripped up, but then you can have someone redo them too. What's really cool about Land Cruisers is that they always come with those rear third row seats that you can fold up. Let's go here to the trunk. So like I said, someone's buying this truck in a few hours, so I threw two bumpers that I have for it and a roof rack. But anyways, I want to show you guys the seats. These obviously fold up, and then you can bring them down, so you have third row seats. And one cool thing about these Land Cruisers is that the tailgate, how they are, you know, they're like half and half. This is like a big deal for me. Like when I go camping, this is a big deal because you can sit on it. I'd rather have something like this than a regular tailgate, like let's say that Subaru over there. So one cool thing about a Land Cruiser, this Land Cruiser was my daily driver for about 2 years. I'm not gonna lie, I never had any issues with it other than maybe the battery going out, the alternator, typical things that any other car would do. Well, I take that back. I did have a heater hose that started leaking, the pesky heater hose that happens on these. It's a little hose that goes out, you have to replace. So I replaced that already. But other than that, this truck has been great for being a 1994 vehicle. It took my family and me places. I took my son to school every day in this truck. It is just a great all-around truck. Am I gonna miss it? There's a lot of leaves right now. Am I gonna miss it? I'm definitely gonna regret selling it, but I'm going a different route, and it's just time to move on. And I enjoyed it. I'm glad I had it. I could say I had a Land Cruiser, and it was really nice. But again, back to the topic of the video. Don't want to get too off course. You need to go buy a Land Cruiser right away. It took me about 24 hours to sell this truck. 24 hours. It was quick. Some guy put a deposit on it right away, and I have a line after him that want it. So it's also a good investment. You buy one, you want to get rid of it later on, go for it. You'll make some good money off of it, and you can still enjoy it. they definitely hold their value.
When looking for an 80 series Land Cruiser, do know that there are two different 80 series and some that come with added features, giving them better resale value in today's market. The 80 series started from 1991 all the way to 1997. The 91 and 92 models were called the FJ80, and the 93 to 97 were the FZJ80s. The differences between the two 80s are mostly on the motors. The FJ80 had the 3FE 4.0 straight 6, and the FZJ80 had the 1FZ 4.5 straight 6. The reason why Toyota changed its motor was the fact that the FJ80 felt underpowered with the 3FE with the 80's full-time four-wheel drive system. Remember that the 80 has its 4x4 on all the time, you can't turn it off. So then Toyota comes up with the 1FZ motor to fix all that. And on top of that, they added ABS and even a full floater rear axle with disc brakes. One thing to really be on the lookout if you're searching for an 80 series is to check if it has front and rear lockers. That was an option at the time, so 80s with lockers are the most sought after. And if you get yourself the 1997 40th anniversary edition, then you're all set. Those are also very sought after. There is a great article from Sleet Off-Road that I will link below that is an 80 series newbie guide that will tell you everything you want to know about the 80 series.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a little walk around of the 80. I don't want to talk too much. I don't like watching those videos where they just talk for like 30 minutes. So, okay, let's just get started. Like I said, 1994 Toyota Land Cruiser. No lockers on this one, just a center diff that they all came with. So let's talk about suspension. I have a Dobinson 3-inch lift. It is the Flexi suspension, I believe. I forgot what it is, but it's a Dobinson, straight out of Australia. Man, I gotta say, this suspension, super comfy on off-road and on-road. Like the bumps, you barely feel them. Excuse me. Great suspension. I used to have a 3rd gen 4Runner. It had the Old Man Emu. Obviously different type of suspension, but that thing was a piece of crap. It rode like a piece of crap. But maybe it's the coil suspension that makes it a lot more comfortable. Let's move on to the tires. So here we have the Milestar Patagonias. These tires have been great. I haven't had any issues with them. They have about maybe 10,000 miles or less. Pretty new. The size here, 315 by 75 by 16 with the stock FZJ 80 wheels, which I wanted to replace, but I never got around to it. A lot of people are gonna hate me for this, but I had removed the fender flares at one point. Plan was I was gonna fill those holes up and then repaint the truck, but I randomly just started, I decided to just sell the truck, which I never planned to, but so I feel bad that I took the fender flares off because I didn't want them, but the owner that's gonna come and pick it up in a bit, he said he already bought some fender flares for it. Right now I do not have the rooftop tent and roof rack, but I'm gonna show you clips of it right here. The roof rack, it's a Yakima 1A gutter rack system, and on the top is an outer tent, hard shell rooftop tent. Man, I'm trying to remember the model name of that outer tent. The Osprey, there you go, the Osprey rooftop tent. Great tent. The Yakima, I got those off of eBay. You can't go wrong with that. It was super cheap. Instead of buying some fancy roof rack, just buy one of those. They do the same job. You know you're not gonna be putting much stuff up there. Some people are just a bunch of fakes. Anyways, let's move on. So we talked about the tires. We talked about the suspension. There's really not much on this truck. Most of it's more of the maintenance aspect. Like I said, I did the PHH, the pesky heater hose, new alternator. I just threw in a Denso radiator literally last week. That day is when I decided to sell the truck. I was like, you know what, it's time to sell it. So I put that in there, new belts. My friend Jake did a knuckle rebuild on the front axle, and so that happened. It started leaking, so I had him redo the whole axle, so no leaks. This truck is not leaking at the moment. It hasn't been leaking for a few months. It's been pretty nice. Being for an old truck, that's pretty miraculous. It's not leaking one thing. That or I don't see a leak. Just a lot of maintenance. I was planning on getting a new front bumper, just didn't get around to it. Let's go on the inside. Let's show you guys, which I already showed you guys a little bit of it. One thing that I really like that I didn't modify in here is these little LEDs. I'll put the link to these. It's a whole square with full of LEDs. And I put one right there. And I put one Well, actually I put a strip, and I'm gonna show you guys a clip of it in real use. That little strip over there, that it made a huge difference. It's like the little mods are what always make a huge difference on these rigs.
Well, there you have it, guys, the reasons why to buy an 80 series right now before they get too expensive. If this video helped you out, please hit the like button, and if you want more Toyota 4x4 content and camping videos, hit the subscribe button for more episodes. Thanks to everyone that supports the channel, it really means a lot. We got merch on the link below. Thanks for watching, guys. See y'all on the next one.